Hi everyone, I'm Ben, and this is the Board Game Blueprint. This week, we're going to talk about fan expansions, or at the very least, how you can sort of base a design of your own on an already pre-existing game out on shelves, or even just IPs in general. So we'll go ahead and jump on over to the table next door and hopefully see what I mean by that. I would say my first notable design based on an already existing game is none other than my take or spin-off game of The Captain is Dead, designed by Joe Price and JT Smith, illustrated by Gaetano Leonardi. I was just so in love with the art style here, the polygons, that I really wanted to make something in this world that I hoped would be able to fit in all right. And so I present to you The Halcyon is Stormed. This was a game design that I had put up for the Hidden Movement contest on the Game Crafter. And as you can kind of see, I adopted as much as I could of the general aesthetic into my game as possible. So in a similar way, as we talked about in the previous video, the characters, or the players, all have different action points that they can use on their turn. So the amount is listed up here, and then kind of the cost of each action is listed next to them. So this is also an asymmetric game where every player actually has maybe these action points, but uses them all in different ways to achieve their goals as most efficiently as possible. I also should mention that this is a prequel game in a sense, in that the captain is not yet dead. This is maybe before the captain becomes a captain and is on their own special away mission of theirs, while these aliens have invaded the ship, the Halcyon. In my design, the game takes place over a number of rounds, as indicated here, or rather it's a race to victory points. And if we may have seen on these cards that some of the different actions provide victory points. And through playtesting, I came to realize, or was told quite directly, that maybe this wasn't the best route, in the sense that it didn't feel as thematic as maybe something else. And so when I revisit this design, and maybe soon, I think I'd like to explore an objective-based win condition. Maybe every character has 3 and they choose 2 that they feel like they can accomplish best, and then it's a race to that finish line instead. A cool other piece of feedback was to maybe feel a little bit even more like The Captain is Dead, to have a countdown deck. So again, instead of the races here, where we're racing up to level 12, over the course of 9 rounds, we might have a deck of cards that would have different outcomes on the back. That I didn't really make up that far, but I did create something similar to the effect cards in The Captain is Dead. I also created this quad fold board, or accordion fold board, for the Halcyon is Stormed on the Game Crafter, and ever since they released their 6-fold medium board, I think is what it's called, I really want to check that out too. But again, the whole point of this game was to have a system that was familiar to players of the original Captain is Dead, so that they could easily jump in to this new rendition, or new adventure, despite it being something entirely new. I think I forgot to explain in a little bit more detail that the captain will be moving along the different nodes, available on the ship, trying to, again, avoid the different aliens, and then, of course, achieve their own goals here, before it's too late. We even explored little screens that I can maybe show off in another component close-up, with reference information and another map so that the captain's eyes can't be tracked by the other players. A game I mentioned in a previous video by text was Dinosaur Island, and this game was really cool because it was similar to Jurassic Park, where you would add different dinosaurs or create them and then put them into an amusement type park to try and gain different excitement levels. Whoever has the most at the end wins based on the attractions, but you have to watch out, because if you get the kind of more exciting carnivores, they might go ahead and actually eat park visitors. This game was published by Pandasaurus Games and designed by Jonathan Gilmore, though it was marketed at, I believe, 2 to 4 players. One such player felt that there could be an even more intimate level of the game with just two. And enter Ian Moss, who, after what I understand to have pitched the game softly, maybe uploading it onto Board Game Geek, drew attention or gained Jonathan's attention. The two of them worked together on the project and thus released another popular variant or fan expansion to the game. I think this example is just another way to show that really anyone can kind of design if they sort of are able to cater to an already existing set of rules, but then switch it around or focus it onto a specific goal. In this case, an awesome two-player experience. A story that is similarly heartwarming and encouraging is one with Mike Wokosh and his son, who designed a fan expansion for Vast, the Crystal Caverns. Now, I've definitely shown this one on the channel before, and as we know, the art style is also super neat. In a similar vein, these two put up their rules for a crystal golem of the cave onto Board Game Geek, and it actually drew the attention of the artist, Kyle Farron, who illustrated a quick character mock-up for them. To say the least, I think it was really exciting and encouraging for these two to see it noticed by an official part of the Leader Games team, and I can only expect for them to continue to design together. From what I know, Patrick has a lot of vast material to go through, and we might even see this as an officially released character. And lastly, to tie it all in together is sort of my own experience with creating my own art for a fan expansion for an already existing game. One more, at least a step further perhaps, than the Halcyon Storm. If you remember Jason Maselli from Phase Shift Games, a couple videos ago, he was talking about a contest, and that contest game has, I believe, been funded on Kickstarter. This one, called Dungeon Drop, is a super cute dexterity light game where players will drop cubes to create a dungeon and collect the treasures and monsters in different areas. Now, the awesome thing about Jason's campaign is that he opened up, through a social goal, the Tinkerer's Toolkit, love the alliteration, where backers can download the art files for the game and create their own characters, whether it be a different race that wasn't seen or unlocked, a different class, or even a different custom quest. And for me, I created a new race. The fun thing about this one is, with my D&D background, or I should say exposure through my friends, I learned about the Drider, which is kind of a dark elf hybrid with a spider. And so we have our little Drider here. She's super cute, and I actually borrowed heavily from the already existing artwork for the Wood Elf in the game as a reference. My shading is definitely not as excellent as Marilia's, but I did what I could, and hopefully it looks pretty darn cool. I think definitely, though, the best part is that uploading these files to the Game Crafter, for which they've already been preset, Jason has said that there's a possibility that whatever fan creations or fan expansions are made could appear in a later release, whether as expansion material or maybe a spin-off of Dungeon Drop itself. So I'm always excited about opportunities like this that engage the board game communities and help them feel like they can be a part of the world. Maybe a siren or mermaid might be next. And hopefully this video showed you that not only can constraints be good adhering to a system that's already used by a game, but also just trying to expand the universe and how that can also expand some different opportunities in our friendly industry. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up to date on future content like this. As always, I'm Ben. This has been another episode of the Board Game Blueprint, and together, let's build something great. Oh, and by the way,
The Game Crafter is celebrating 10 years this month. It's so crazy that they've been just continuing to grow and develop and make things better for me and you and hopefully all other designers out there. So any order that you actually make this month of July 2019, you'll be eligible to win a gift certificate up to $99, as well as a token of appreciation for your continued support. So feel free to check them out today and keep on gaming.